All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Monday, happy Memorial Day. Thank you to everybody who has served. Yeah, wonderful day yesterday. So we will recap that, but gave out 4 best bets, so we didn't give out a ton, but it was a Sunday. But we went 3-1. Up close to 2 units. So we had the Logan Henderson bet that cashed for us. So we had Logan Henderson to get 5 Ks, Milwaukee to get over 3 runs. Cashed the runs in the first inning, so that was sweat free, and the Ks wasn't too bad either. Dean Kramer under 5.5 Ks and 4+ hits. This was sweat free. Royals money line, not sweat free, but they got the job done for us in extra innings, winning 2-1. And then the one miss we had was a brutal hook. We had Hoagland to get 3 Ks. Line was 3.5. 4+ hits and total over 7. So he ended up at 2 Ks. So we missed by a K there. But that's all right. We'll take a 3-1 day on Sundays all the time. So I've got 6 best bets for you guys. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And turn notifications on. That way you know when I post a video. All right, let's get into the slate today. First game on the card at 110 is going to be the Giants and the Tigers. It's going to be Hayden Birdsong going up against Keeter Montero. Now, Montero, when he pitches, doesn't always start. And that might be the case today. They like to use an opener with him. I haven't checked to see. He is officially listed as the starter. However, there has been times where they'll use like Herder or somebody like that for the first 2 innings. But it doesn't look like that's the case today. So we're going to move forward like that's the assumption. Yeah, this is a Giants spot. Hayden Birdsong, 2-0. He's got a 1.91 ERA, an expected ERA of 3.75. So should see some regression. Montero, 5.28 ERA. 5.25 home ERA. Montero's just not a guy I can get behind. And these Giants bats have been really, really good lately. And the Tigers have definitely been cooling off. We saw it in the Guardian series. They should have won multiple games. They did finally win yesterday, but Scooble had to go out and do some superhero type stuff. But they ended up winning 5-0. So yeah, Giants for me in this one. I really don't see an angle to get behind the Tigers. And frankly, I think this line's wrong. So this is one that almost made the card. I mean, almost made the card. But love the Giants here. Maybe just look at their team total, but the weather's not going to be fantastic. It's going to be a little on the cooler side. I mean, 62 degrees. We'll have a 0% chance of rain, 6-mile-an-hour wind kind of blowing left to right in this one. But Giants up for me here. Next game is going to be the Red Sox and the Brewers. Garrett Crochet on the bump. He is 4-3 on the year with a 1.98 ERA, 1.57 on the road in 5 games, going up against Chad Patrick, who has a 3.23 ERA, but he is better at home. He's got a 2.70 ERA. There's some value here in taking the Brewers. I really do think that there's some value here. Over under of 7.5. It's pretty much right where I have it handicap. Now I do have the Boston Red Sox winning this one about 4.5 to 3 is kind of how I have this slated out. If this line should keep moving towards Boston. If this gets to 150 or more, I might put a little bit on the Brewers. I mean, they are a very good home team. 15-10 at home. Red Sox are 11-14 on the road. They've lost 2 straight. After a loss this season, Boston's 12-15. Brew Crew after a win are 13-12. But as dogs at home, Brewers are only 3-6. So I guess they've lost the games they were supposed to lose on the road. Red Sox on the road as favorites are 6-7 on the season. My only concern is the Brewers can't hit lefties very well lately, so I do have some trepidation about that, so maybe not pulling the trigger on this, but there's some value in taking the Brewers. This is kind of like a modified Sunday, in my opinion. It's a holiday. I kind of treat this like a Sunday, so we could see an upset here. It's hard to say, but Boston only being minus 155 with Crochet on the hill, really weird. It's a red flag line. All right, next game is going to be the Rockies and the Cubs. We've got some wind blowing directly in here. It could be up to 11 miles an hour in the face. So that is a significant wind at Wrigley. It's going to be 55 degrees. You've got Carson Palmquist, the lefty, going up against Jameson Taillon. So Palmquist is 0-2 on the year with an 11.88 ERA. Now, he's only made one home start, and he got roughed up pretty good. This guy's only got 8 innings under his belt, so not going to go too nuts here. He only did strike out 2 people in 8 innings, so if you're not able to strike this Cubs team out, they are going to get to you. Quite a comeback yesterday against the Reds. They had 8 unanswered runs. It looked like the Reds were going to run away with that game. And not so fast. So pretty wild comeback by the Cubbies there. 7-3 in their last 10. Rockies have lost 2 straight. Those were against the Yankees. 2-8 in their last 10. Rockies on the road are 3-22. I mean, this is the worst team in baseball. So that's why we see the Cubs at a ridiculously high line. There's really nothing I can get behind here. I mean, the only thing I like in this one is no home runs. With the wind blowing in, you can get like plus 600 to take no home runs, which I might have that paired up with another play we have today. You can do the Reds and the Royals game, no home runs, and pair this one up, and you get a nice little plus 4,450. So might have a little sprinkle on that one. So yeah, Cubbies up, but my God, I don't want to take them run line given the weather and the wind blowing in. This could be a really low scoring game, but don't want to touch it. Don't see an avenue where the Rockies win, though. Is there value? Heck yeah, there's value taking them, but probably won't. All right, Cardinals and the Orioles. This is one where I disagree with the line, and it's really starting to move in the direction I thought. So the best bet I gave out in the Discord was Cardinals money line. You got Grandpa Charlie on the hill. He's 0-7 on the year with almost an 8 ERA. He has over an 8 ERA at home in 7 starts, giving up an opponent average of 284. Righties are just going to town on this guy. Hard hit percentage is through the roof. Struggles with runners in scoring position. I mean, this is just bad. Now, you got Fedde on the other side. Fedde's not great, but on the road, he actually has been good. He's got a 2.43 ERA on the road in 5 starts, and he's only got a 3.77 anyway. But he has struggled at home. But this is an Orioles team. My God, they're what? After a win, they're 3-14 on the season, and they're coming off back-to-back wins. So they've won 2 straight. I'm not going to jump on the Orioles train because they won 2 in a row. I can't get behind Charlie Morton. This would have been the start for Kyle Gibson, but they ended up DFAing him. But I would assume Charlie Morton's not far behind him. Yeah, I can't really get behind the O's here. So give me the Cardinals. Got this at minus 108 on FanDuel. That is one of my best bets today. Next game is going to be the Blue Jays and the Rangers. Kevin Gausman going up against Jacob deGrom. It's no different than the White Sox series. Do I trust that Texas can score runs? No. We've got an over-under of 7. That kind of tells you where it's at. But deGrom's been lights out. So I think deGrom pitches well, but there's value taking the Blue Jays on the money line. It's great if you pitch well, but if you can't score, you're still probably going to lose. And Texas has been terrible with the stick. So I think the Blue Jays coming off a pretty rough series, getting swept by the Rays. I want to see some bounce back today. Gausman is definitely better at home this year than on the road, which is typically the opposite. It's given up a 5.27 ERA and 5 away starts. DeGrom, 1.47 ERA and 6 home starts. So you're not getting a ton of value to take the Blue Jays. It needs to be a little bit higher for me going up against DeGrom, but I would actually softly lean towards the Blue Jays. I think Gausman's able to contain these terrible Texas bats, but it's going to be a low-scoring affair. So fade for me, but like I said, lean Blue Jays. Reds and the Royals. Official play in this one, the Nerfy. We're going with the Nerfy. Nick Martinez on the bump, going up against Michael Lorenzen. Now, Lorenzen's not a great pitcher, but in terms of Nerfies, he's 10-0 on the year. Has not given up a run in the first inning yet this season. We've got the wind blowing in from right center at like 15 miles an hour. So when I look at these bats in the Reds lineup, right, most likely TJ Friedel's going to be leading off. He's a lefty, and he pulls the ball. You've got Ellie in that 3 spot. I don't know who's going to hit in the 2. They kind of mix and match that one, but you got Ellie in that 3 spot most likely. He's going to bat left-handed. Probably not going to do anything. And then you'll probably have like Austin Hayes hitting fourth, which he's a righty. Not too worried about him. Should be able to get through, although Hayes has been hot. But the only concern here is there is rain in the forecast. It's going to be 61 degrees with a 56% chance of rain. But we got that big wind blowing in from right field. So give me no home runs in this game. So when I look at it, the Royals just don't hit home runs. They've only hit 3 in the past 2 weeks, and Vinny Pasquantino's hit 2 of those. He's a lefty. So you're taking away all the home runs. If we look at the Reds, they've hit 12 over the last 2 weeks in an extremely friendly park at GABP. And PNC, the wind was blowing out in almost every game they had. But 5 of those home runs have come from Will Benson. He had a magical last week, but he's a lefty, so hate it for him today. And then Ellie has 3. So of the 12, 8 have come from Benson and Ellie, who are lefties. The other ones came from Hayes, Steer, McLean, and then Reese Hines. Reese Hines got optioned to AAA, so he's not even here. So yeah, I like the no home runs at plus 550, and then give me the Nerfy at minus 125. Reds have been a very good team at scoring runs in the first inning, though, so that's the only concern here. They are one of the better teams, actually, but Royals have just struggled to score in general. Now, in terms of a winner, definitely leaning Royals here. Reds scored 8 runs yesterday, had to get on the road, travel to Kansas City, kind of crappy weather. It's a good spot for the Royals here if they can score runs. I just don't want to put my money on them because I don't trust them offensively against Martinez. I think Martinez probably does a decent job of keeping him off balance. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but he gives up a lot of soft contact. All right, next game is going to be the White Sox and the Mets. It's going to be Adrian Hauser going up against Clay Holmes. This one, weather-wise, it's going to be 72 degrees with a 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. So pretty good weather here. We see the Mets at a really big number. I'll tell you, I was looking at ways to find value in this game. You can take the run line, not opposed to it. The under 8.5, it's scary, but I do think there's value there. Not sure if I pull the trigger on it with the wind blowing out, and they're playing the White Sox, which White Sox have struggled to score runs. Clay Holmes should be able to neutralize them. Maybe the under, you can take Mets on the run line. I'm just a little bit nervous about that, but should hit. Another play that'll get you plus money is Adrian Hauser under 3.5 Ks in Mets money lines, like plus 115 or something like that. That was another avenue I looked at, but it's either Mets on the run line or under 8.5 is the only way I would play this game. All right, next one is going to be the Dodgers and the Guardians. So this one, we've got Yamamoto on the mound for LA going up against Gavin Williams. If you guys follow this channel, you know I'm not a Gavin Williams fan. Just don't like him. And his pitch mix today is terrible. His 2 main pitches, which he throws about 76% of the time, are the fastball and the slider. Dodgers are number 1 hitting the slider, number 2 hitting the fastball. Yeah, I don't love this for them. Now, the only saving grace today is the wind. It's going to be 65 degrees, but we're going to have an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in kind of from right center. So runs should be a little bit lower, but there's no way I'm not backing the Dodgers here. So this is Dodgers. We're going to pair them up with somebody else, though. We're going to put them in a little 2-leg parlay. Why I like Yamamoto today, he has been ridiculously good against lefties, and this Cleveland team's going to have like 7 left-handers in the lineup, but he's given up a 121 average to lefties, 27% strikeout rate. Gavin Williams has been very good against lefties as well. Give him his props, giving up a 146 average with a 38% strikeout rate, but righties have torched him. He's given up a 400 average to righties. Hard hit percentage is too high for me. Yeah, there's nothing I can get behind here when I look at it. Cleveland's not exactly roping the baseball right now. Now, Dodgers are on a mini slump for sure. They've lost 2 in a row. And on the road, they're only 500. They're 13-13. And this Guardians team has been very good at home. They're 14-8. So, but I can't get behind them. Yamamoto should dominate them. You can get the first 5 at minus 180 as well if you want to take a little juice there. Or a lot of juice, I should say. But yeah, Cleveland can't get behind them after a loss this season. They're 11-11, so they're 500. At home as dogs have been a really good spot. I was telling somebody yesterday, if you played Cleveland money line every game this season. They've been the most profitable team. They're up 20 and a half units on the season. So, could there be a Sunday upset? Maybe, but just looking at the numbers here, it's a Dodger spot. All right, next game is going to be the Twins and the Rays. It's going to be Chris Paddack going up against Zach Littell. Littell is 3-5 on the season. He is giving up a 4.33 home ERA in 5 starts. Chris Paddack is 2-4 with almost a 5 ERA in 5 away starts. Over-under doesn't really make sense to me. It's going to be 87 degrees, maybe a little sprinkle in this game, but overall probably pretty sunny. And we got a 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. We just saw the Rays go ham yesterday and throw up like 13 runs. They won like 13-0 against Toronto. And we get an over-under of 9 with Paddack and Littell. It's weird. I thought this would be 10. So I would lean over the 9. I think the Twins should be able to hit the ball. I think they're sneaky favorites to win this game. I would lean the Twins to win. So it's the over or Twins, but I hate backing teams that are going against teams that are on streaks. And the Rays have won 5 in a row. They're 7-3 in their last 10, but the Twins are also 7-3 in their last 10, coming off a loss, which the Twins did yesterday. They're 10-12 on the season. So a little bit, there's some numbers here I don't like. Yeah, it's the over 9 for me is how I would play this. So over 9 or Twins. All right, next game is going to be the Pirates and the D-backs. It's going to be Andrew Heaney going up against Ryan Nelson. So this is this is our second leg here. So we're going to take the Dodgers and the D-backs on the money line, and we get like plus 130 something. So I like this spot. Now, what concerns me is you have 2 really bad bullpens. These are both bottom 5 bullpens. Ryan Nelson's not someone I overly trust. He's 1-1 on the year with a 4.60 ERA. He's got a 4.41 home ERA. But he's going up against a Pirates team that just is terrible, and they can't score runs. On the road this season, they're 6-19. They're 4-6 in their last 10, but the D-backs have lost 5 straight. So I like this because now they're coming home. D-backs are pretty good at home. That said, their record's 13-13, but you got to look at who they face. They face the who's who of the MLB at home this season. So now they get the Pirates. This is a gift. If we look at Heaney, they don't give him run support. He's pitched pretty well, but he only averages 2.2 runs per game when he throws. So I just can't get behind him here. So it's a D-back spot. I hate paying minus 192, but that's why we're throwing them in a parlay with the Dodgers here. All right, next game, Marlins and the Padres. We've got Ryan Weathers going up against Randy Vasquez. So I like the Padres here. I think the Padres get the job done. Marlins are okay. They looked okay. They've won 2 in a row, but they were also playing the Angels. Not a far travel down to San Diego. But I like this spot. Do I love backing Randy Vasquez? No, it doesn't give me a lot of warm and fuzzy feelings. But he hasn't pitched terrible this season. But he is due for some regression at some point. He's got a 3.49 ERA, an expected ERA of 5.55, and a Sierra of 5.75, which is not good. Going up against Ryan Weathers, who's a pretty good lefty. He's 1-0 on the year with a 194 opponent average. He's got a 1.80 ERA, but an expected ERA of 3.47. So kind of 2 guys that are due for some regression here. Weathers has been really good against lefties, giving up a 143 average, only 207 to righties. But again, we don't have a lot of starts under our belt here. Weathers has 10 innings pitched. So I don't want to go nuts here and say he's going to do fantastic, but I think he does get hit, but I think Vasquez is going to do a good job at home of limiting runs. He's only got a 2.08 ERA in 4 home starts, so it's more me backing that he's at home. If he's on the road, there's no way I'm backing this. But I like him to go under his 4.5 Ks. I like the Padres to win, and I like Ryan Weathers to get 3 strikeouts. So we're doing an alt line on his Ks, but we can get a really nice price on that. So we'll talk about that in the best bets. And last game on the card is going to be the Yankees and the Angels. No pitcher announced for the Yankees, but I do believe it's going to be Ryan Yarbrough. I'm a little nervous to back him because he went really deep and had a lot of Ks in his last outing. So there could be some arm fatigue there. but we're getting minus 166 to take the Yankees on the road. It's a weird line. Now, they're also coming off Coors. I don't really love taking teams in their first game outside of Coors. We do see a dip offensively for some weird reason, altitude adjustment, whatever it is. Same thing with the pitchers. We see their breaking balls don't have as much break in their next start. It's a really weird phenomenon up there, but I'm not going to get behind this game, but I don't see an angle to take the Angels here. Jack Kochanowicz, not a guy I trust. He's got almost a 5 ERA. He's dead on where he should be. Expected ERA of 4.85. His ERA is 4.86. He's got a Sierra of 5.17. Just can't get on board with that. That said, the Angels have been hitting. They've been hitting lefties. They've been hitting righties. One of the best offensive teams in baseball right now, statistically. But Kochanowicz, 333 average to lefties, 190 to righties. He's got a 4.15 home ERA. He's given up a 220 average with runners in scoring position, which isn't terrible, but man, I just cannot get behind this guy. So it's Yankees or nothing for me. I would even maybe look at Yankees run line just because once you get past Kochanowicz, there's just an awful bullpen waiting in the wings to give up a run. So like I said, Yankees run line or nothing for me there. All right, let's get into the best bets. Get you guys on your way. Like I said, make sure you guys hit that like button, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. All right, first bet here, like we talked about, it's going to be the Reds and the Royals. Nerfy, Martinez 3-1 on the season to Nerfy's on the road, and Lorenzen a perfect 3-0 at home and 10-0 on the season. No home run in that game as well. We're taking just with the wind and all the homers most likely coming from the left-handed side. It's a beautiful win to take it. Dodgers and the Diamondbacks on the money line. Pair them together, you get plus 138. If you want to bring this up a little bit, you could take like Yamamoto and Alt K line, throw some runs in there for whichever team, the alternate team, just like 1 or 2 runs. And they can juice that up to like plus 200 pretty easy and pretty safely. Next one's going to be the Cardinals on the money line at minus 108 on FanDuel. Now, I will tell you, I personally have this played slightly different. I didn't put it on there because I wanted to put the Padres on there, but I'll tell you how I have it played. I have the Cardinals on the money line, Eric Fetty to give up a walk, and the Orioles to score more than 1.5 runs, so essentially 2 runs. Pair those 3 together, you get plus 148. I just wanted a little bit more value. I just wanted something plus money. Fetty, it's highly likely he gives up at least 1 walk, so you can just do the 1 walk and get to plus money. Or take the money line, but officially the play is Cardinals money line. Next one's going to be Vasquez to give up less than or have under 4.5 Ks. Ryan Weathers to get 3 or more Ks, but the Padres to win. So a little bit of negative correlation here gets us all the way up to plus 282, and that's a half a unit play. And then our last one is going to be individual team Nerfies. These are not full games. So we are taking the Rockies to not get a run in the first inning, the White Sox not to get a run, and the Guardians. So 3 specific matchups. Shout out to Jukeman in the Discord, puts out some awesome data around Nerfies. So, I just stole this from him pretty much. So giving props to the man who's been absolutely crushing the Nerfies. If you want access to that data, it's absolutely free. It's in the Discord. Link is down below. I post my pitching sheets every day with projected stuff. So a lot of good data that gets thrown around in that room. So hopefully you guys come join the community there. But appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel, and let's crush it today. So we're risking 4.75 units, and hopefully we win a lot more than that. So appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic Memorial Day. Enjoy the holiday. Salute a veteran. Shake someone's hand who has served, and I'll catch you in the next video.